Every single day, somewhere in India, 10,000 people buy the same motorcycle. Not 10,000 people choosing from a lineup, not 10,000 people browsing options, 10,000 people walking into a dealership and walking out with one specific bike. The Hero Splendor. That's one sale every 8.6 seconds. Around the clock. Every day of the year. You have never heard of it. The Hero Splendor is the best-selling motorcycle in the history of the world. Since 1994, Hero MotoCorp has moved over 100 million units of this single model. Harley-Davidson, founded in 1903, has produced somewhere around 8 to 9 million motorcycles total across its entire 122-year existence. The Splendor beats that number roughly 12 times over. And it's just one model from one company that most Americans cannot name. If you want more stories like this, businesses, products, and industries that dominate the world while staying invisible to American consumers, subscribe now. I break these down every week, and this one is unlike anything I've covered before. Hero MotoCorp was born in 1984 as a joint venture between India's Hero Group and Honda of Japan. The Munjal family, which had already built the largest bicycle manufacturer in India, partnered with Honda to bring affordable motorized transport to a country of hundreds of millions who needed to move but couldn't afford a car. By 2001, just 17 years after founding, Hero Honda had crossed 10 million cumulative units. By 2011, when Honda exited the partnership and the company rebranded as Hero MotoCorp, they were selling over 6 million motorcycles per year. By January 2021, they hit 100 million total. Not 100 million of all models combined. 100 million, full stop. To put that in terms Americans can feel, Indian Motorcycle, the storied American brand, sells roughly 37,000 units per year in the United States. Hero MotoCorp does that number in about 2.5 days, not in a record quarter. Every single week, 2.5 times over. The bike at the center of all this is almost shockingly simple. The Splendor runs a 97 cubic centimeters air-cooled single-cylinder engine. It produces about 8 horsepower. The whole machine weighs 112 kilograms, roughly 247 pounds. It tops out around 80 kilometers per hour, or 50 miles an hour. It costs approximately $800 in India, though prices vary slightly by variant. And it returns somewhere between 60 and 80 miles per gallon, depending on conditions and load. That last number is not a typo. Think about that for a moment. You're an Indian family of 4. You can't afford a car. Public transit doesn't reliably reach your neighborhood. You need to get to work, get your kids to school, carry groceries, and still have money left at the end of the month. A Splendor costs less than a single monthly payment on an entry-level American motorcycle. It sips fuel at rates that make a Toyota Prius look gluttonous. And it runs for 15 years with basic maintenance. In the Indian context, this isn't a hobby. It's oxygen. That's the part Americans systematically misunderstand about this bike. In the United States, a motorcycle is a lifestyle accessory. It's something you buy when you want to feel something on a Sunday afternoon. The average Harley-Davidson buyer is 48 years old, male, earns over $90,000 a year, and rides maybe 3,000 miles annually. He finances his bike. He stores it in winter. He cleans it more than he rides it. There is nothing wrong with any of that. But it means that when Americans think motorcycle market, they are imagining a luxury category with a specific emotional identity. They are not imagining the single most practical transportation tool on the planet. India imagines it differently. In India, motorcycles account for roughly 80% of all vehicle sales. Not 80% of two-wheelers, 80% of everything. Cars, trucks, motorcycles, scooters combined. The two-wheeler market in India sold over 19 million units in fiscal year 2024. The entire U.S. motorcycle market, by comparison, is under 600,000 units annually. We are not playing the same game. We are not even in the same stadium. If this breakdown is useful to you, if you've never seen this comparison laid out before, hit like. It helps more people find this kind of reporting. Now here's where it gets specifically strange. Hero MotoCorp has tried to enter the American market. In 2016, they acquired a significant stake in Eric Buell Racing, a Wisconsin-based motorcycle company that had gone bankrupt the year before. The plan was clear: use EBR as a beachhead. Get dealerships. Build a network. Start selling. It failed. EBR's assets were absorbed, the U.S. expansion stalled, and Hero retreated. The company has since established HMCL Americas, but its operations cover Central and South America, not the United States. The reasons Hero hasn't broken through in America are not what you might expect. It's not emission standards, though those matter at the margins. It's not safety certifications, though those require engineering changes. The deeper answer is cultural. American motorcycle culture has a defined aesthetic. It has a sound, a size, a silhouette. A 97 cubic centimeters commuter bike with 8 horsepower does not fit that silhouette. Dealers don't want it because they don't believe their customers want it. And because American consumers have never seen it on a showroom floor, they've never had the chance to want it. Think about what that means. You walk into any motorcycle dealership in America today. You see chrome. You see displacement numbers starting with 400, 650, 1,000 cubic centimeters. You see $12,000 entry points and financing offers stretched over 60 months. Nowhere in that room is the bike that 10,000 people bought today in another country. Nowhere in that room is proof that personal transportation can cost less than a laptop. Here's the twist that almost nobody talks about. Hero, MotoCorp, and Harley-Davidson are not enemies. They are partners. In 2020, Harley signed a licensing agreement with Hero to jointly develop and manufacture motorcycles for the Indian market. The result was the Harley-Davidson X440, a 440 cubic centimeters motorcycle built at Hero's factory in Neemrana, Rajasthan, and sold through Hero's dealership network across India. Between April and December 2024, the two companies sold over 12,000 units of their jointly developed models, a 77% increase year-over-year. Harley, the iconic American brand, is now relying on the manufacturing muscle of the company that built the world's best-selling motorcycle to survive in one of the world's fastest-growing markets. Let that sit. The company Americans have never heard of is propping up the company that Americans treat as a cultural monument. Hero MotoCorp sold 5.6 million vehicles in fiscal year 2024. Revenue exceeded $6 billion. Net income rose 33% year-over-year. The company operates 5 manufacturing facilities across India and is building a 6th in Andhra Pradesh. It has presence in 47 countries. Its CEO closed out 2024 by describing it as a landmark year, which is a phrase executives use when the numbers actually justify it. Meanwhile, in September 2024 alone, Hero sold 376,886 Splendors in a single month. 376,000. Of one model. In 30 days. There is a version of this story where Hero eventually cracks the American market, not with the Splendor, but with the electric motorcycles they're developing in partnership with California-based Zero Motorcycles. That collaboration, announced in June 2023, is potentially the most credible path Hero has ever had toward US shelves. But no timeline has been confirmed. No launch date exists. And the American market will almost certainly demand a product that looks and feels nothing like the motorcycle that made Hero the most prolific two-wheeler manufacturer in human history. Which brings us to the real question underneath all of this. What actually happened here is a story about how markets form identities, and how those identities determine what gets seen and what stays invisible. America decided, somewhere along the way, that a motorcycle is a statement. A cultural object. Something you choose to express who you are. India decided that a motorcycle is a tool. Something you choose because it works. Neither answer is wrong, but only one of those answers produced 100 million units. Could Hero have broken into America? Probably yes, with the right product, the right price point, and the right moment, maybe during high gas price summers when commuters are desperate. Could the American industry have acknowledged that most of the planet moves on $800 machines? Yes. But it would have required dealers, manufacturers, and consumers to expand their definition of what a motorcycle is allowed to be. They didn't. And so the world's most successful motorcycle company remains invisible here. While you read this, somewhere in India, another Splendor just sold. And another. And another. Every 8.6 seconds. If you found this breakdown valuable, subscribe. I cover business stories like this every week, the ones where the numbers tell a story that the headlines miss. The next video is on screen now.